2026-27 Premier League season is back underway as Arsenal kick off things at the Emirates, beating Coventry 3-0 in a very convincing victory. And there are certain three stars at the head of the show here that we have to discuss: Bukayo Saka, Odegaard, and Ben White. That trio is back and it's looking scary, people. Listen, we are going to react to the game. Welcome back to the channel. It is your boy CJ from the Gunners Corner, and we're going to be reacting to Arsenal beating Coventry 3-0. Like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Thank you to those who joined our FPL. We have about 20 people in there, which is fantastic. So it's going to be a good long season. Best of luck to all the contenders. Um, but yeah, people, listen, 3-0, Arsenal beating Coventry. And again, at the center of it all is Bukayo Saka, Odegaard, and Ben White. Now, a trio that, we all loved in 22-23, the chemistry between them. It looked fantastic. It really did back then in that season. It was pretty much, the strength of our attack that season. Everything that we did went through them. And we saw it again today against Coventry in the first game of the new season for 26-27. Now, it is early days, obviously, but the signs are there. The signs are great. We're not going to only react to them. We are going to cover pretty much everybody's performance and a little bit of a player ratings match review. But yeah, like I said, it's just encouraging. From my point of view, when it comes to those three, it's all about the chemistry and what we do on that right side. We build up on that right side, and we've done it for years now. Our left side is starting to look a little bit better over the years. We are a little, we're trying to pay more attention to that side and put more emphasis on the left side. We've seen this summer, famously, Arsenal trying to go for a Vinny Jr. Once upon a time, obviously, Arsenal and Arteta were looking at players like, Mykhailo Mudryk. Obviously, that didn't work out. Thankfully, it didn't because we got Leandro Trossard, who helped us lift the Premier League, and the rest is history. But we have been trying to address that left side for a while now. And I do think that we are still trying to address the left side with what's remaining in this transfer window. We're leaving ourselves a little bit too short now. I mean, time is running out on what we're going to do there. Are we going to go for a Yildiz? Are we going to try and go back in for a Barcola? There's certain things that still need to be done, I think. And, whether or not we go out and do it remains to be seen. But listen, we brought Solis in. Obviously, the profile of Solis has been pretty much what I think Arteta was looking for, right? Somebody like a Trossard, very technical, very tidy on the ball, keeps possession, two-footed player, can go on the inside, go on the outside. So, you know, not that our left is being neglected, but when you look at what we saw today on the right-hand side, again, the opposition is Coventry, I understand, but you have to play what's in front of you. And the three of them look like they haven't skipped a beat. Ben White, Odegaard, and Saka. And I think that's really, really encouraging for our season. Individually, those are three players who need to prove their worth and prove their fitness. Because you can say all three of them have dipped in form over recent times. And now is that as a result of being overplayed? These things can be discussed at a different time, at a different date, on a different debate. But again, just if you look at it now, the three of them, Odegaard pretty much coming back into form as of the World Cup. He came back into preseason after the World Cup, like a man possessed, we've been hearing, a player who wants to prove individually that he is back to his best. Saka in a similar boat, right? Saka been dealing with fitness and injury issues over, the last year and a bit. He obviously didn't get the minutes he would have wanted in the World Cup, but coming back, and I'm sure he's going to want to prove that he is back to the Saka we all know and love as one of the best right wingers around. He's put out a couple Instagram posts, with a future song captioning "Too Comfortable." If for those who my future fans, if you guys know the song "Too Comfortable," you'll know the main headline of that. The main line in that song is "Don't get too comfortable," right? That's sort of the headline caption of the song, and I think Saka sending a message there by putting out, an Instagram post with that song attached to the post, pretty much saying, Arsenal's looking to go again this season. We're not going to be complacent. We're not going to be resting on our laurels, trying to, retain this Premier League. We're not going to be negligent. We're going to attack it and we're going to go again. And I think Saka means that from the team's perspective and from an individual perspective. He's not here to mess about. He wants to prove again and show everybody that he still has that level of consistency to go again and be the best and one of the best right wingers around, make up for lost time after being injured last season. Ben White, a similar thing, right? He's also been flagged with injuries, unlucky to pick up a knee injury towards the back end of last season in that West Ham game famously. And again, he's lost his place to Timber. Ben White has been a player over the years who's put in a lot of mileage for us, been overplayed, I think. And with Timber's injury at the moment, Ben White has a stake, has a stake to claim to be first team in the right back spot and hold it down at least until Timber returns. But if Ben White keeps playing well and keeps proving his fitness and keeps looking sharp, Timber's gonna take a while to get back into the team, and rightfully so. He shouldn't just walk back into the team, Timber, if he's fit. So yeah, it's encouraging. I'm liking what I'm seeing from the three of them, right? Three of them will know on personal level that they need to up their game, and the three of them step out on the pitch together in a meaningful game today for the first time in a while, and it looks very good, as I mentioned. I start as you mean to go on, and I think if the three of them do start and continue on in that vein, it'll be really good for Arsenal because, like I said, as we saw in 22-23, that right side was very, very effective for us, and it was pretty much almost at the heartbeat of how we played in an attacking sense going forward. The combinations, the attacking patterns of play. Arsenal has been labeled as a team that plays on ball or anti-football in the last year or so en route to winning the Premier League. The football was ugly. Rival fans and even our own fans, we didn't like it. And me, to a certain extent, I wasn't a big fan of what I was watching, but it was effective last season. But, again, you want to see more fluid attacking football. You really, really do. And, I want us to win now in style, just like the Arsene Wenger days. And these three, Saka, Odegaard, and Ben White, if we can get them back to a level of, combination play, patterns of play, chemistry, attacking football, knowing where one another is in the final third. If we can get them playing like that again, back into the 22-23 season form, both individually and collectively, I think that sets us up in good stead to be successful again this season. So, yeah, that was pretty much the highlight for me of this game, and I was really enjoying what I was seeing from the three of them out there. They all look fit, they all look sharp, and it's really, really encouraging. Listen, as far as the rest of the team is concerned, starting from back to front, David Raya, let's do a bit of a player ratings here because we have to touch on every aspect of the game in that sense. And David Raya, cool as you like, not that he had to make a lot of saves in this game, but it's just about what he gives us on the ball, right? The distribution, the presence, the calm. He's our quarterback from the back there. Again, he starts the build up play with the ball at his feet. We know we can give it to him. We know we can trust him. We're going to have a lot of the ball this season. Certainly at the Emirates, we're going to have a lot of possession, and how David Raya dictates the play from defense, from that back line, from his own 18-yard box, and when we're looking to go forward, his composure back there and his leadership and his presence is going to be very important for us. Another season as the number one, and yeah, we're very lucky to have him. He didn't have too much to do, but he kept another clean sheet, and I think he'll be another Golden Boot, not Golden Boot, Golden Glove winner again this season, David Raya. So for his performance, I'm going to give him I'm gonna give him 7 out of 10. Again, didn't have much to do. Sounds harsh because he kept a clean sheet, but didn't have much to do. So I can't boost his rating. I'll give him a 7. I think a 7 is fair. Ben White, as we've been touching on at right back. Ben White got an assist in the game. Again, very happy with him if I analyze him from an individual standpoint. Didn't have much going at him the other way. He didn't really have a winger on Coventry that troubled him too much, so to speak. But you do again, you have to play what's in front of you. So it's not Ben White's fault. He was part of a team that kept a clean sheet, and he did some very good things going forward. Got an assist. I like Ben White's performance, as I was alluding to earlier. And yeah, I think he looked very assured. He looked fit. That's another big thing is he looked fit. Didn't look rusty as we saw a lot of times last season when he played. He looked a bit rusty. You can tell he just wasn't himself. But yeah, he just looks like back to Ben White of old, 22-23 season, 23-24 season. Very, very good to see. Ben White, well done. I'm going to give Ben White an 8, man. I liked what I saw. And again, it was mostly from an attacking sense and how he contributed going forward and combined with Odegaard and Saka. I'm going to give him an 8 out of 10. Mascara, I'm also, you know what? I'm going to give Mascara, I'm going to give him I want to give him an 8 just because I really did like his performance. I'm giving him an 8. I liked his performance a lot, Mascara. And again, just like I finished saying about David Raya and Ben White, Mascara didn't have a lot to do defensively because Coventry didn't trouble us so much. But that Taiwo and when Nwobi, I can't even say his name, the boy from Nottingham Forest that came over, big boy up front, presence. He came off the bench for Coventry. Um, and he has a big physical presence. So he did try and, he played mostly on Mascara's side, I noticed. Maybe tried to get the better Mascara physically, but Mascara held his own against Nwobi or when you're I'm not gonna. I'll stop trying to pronounce his name. People, don't laugh at me. Um, yeah, he did hold his own mascara against that big boy that came on. Taiwo. I'll just call him Taiwo because that is his first name, I believe. Taiwo, who came off the bench for Coventry, yeah, tried to get the better of Mascara, and I think Mascara held his own. Didn't get bullied physically. I think he still saw him out and saw out the game with the clean sheet, Mascara, and not too much else troubled him in the game. Very aggressive, very front-footed center back. Won his challenges, won his duels. Again, good reading of the game to make interceptions, timely interceptions, but not like I said, there wasn't too much to trouble him. But again, still a assured performance from him. 8 out of 10. I very much liked his performance. It looked good. Looks good back there. So Gabriel, I'm gonna bring Gabriel's rating down to a 7, 6.5. 6.5. That may sound really harsh, but he got booked because he got done by the striker in the first half, Coventry striker. I think it was that Sims. He did get done that time when the striker turned him a bit, and then Gabriel had to commit the foul, got a yellow card by pulling the player. Rightfully so, it was a yellow card. Not good for my FPL because Gabriel is in my FPL, but yeah, I think that time he did definitely get done, and maybe he took the situation for granted, thought he had it under control, but was outfoxed in the end. Didn't cost us anything. Obviously, we still kept a clean sheet. He made the foul outside, just outside the box, did get the yellow card. And a couple other times in the game, little bit of loose passing. Um, but again, I think Gabriel will be fine. We all know what we're going to get from Gabriel. He's not an issue in this team. We need him desperately, obviously, especially with Saliba out. So fine with Gabriel. But just this game, 6.5. He'll work his way into form, I'm sure. But 6.5 out of 10 for Gabriel in this game. Calafiori got another assist in this game. He looked good going forward as well. And again, similar to Ben White, Calafiori is also another very good attacking fullback, center back, slash fullback hybrid. But when Calafiori is on it, certainly going forward, he's one of the best around because he just gives us a different attacking outlet, different attacking dimension. And I like what he brought. Between him and Nkapie, it's horses for courses, as I always say. Now, against the PSG or against a Bayern, when you have Kvaratskhelia, Luis Diaz, Olise, these kind of wingers, I think I prefer Nkapie just because I trust Nkapie more defensively. But these kind of games at home at the Emirates against, relegation teams, Coventry, right? These kind of teams, when we're going to be dominant on the ball and we're going to need to break down defenses, I think Calafiori definitely is the one you use for these games just because of his attacking outlet and output. We saw how he finished his goal against City in the Community Shield, like a prime striker, and that's what Calafiori can bring going forward. So I think he was good. I think he was good, Calafiori. I'm actually going to give him a 7 out of 10. Yeah, I think it was good enough performance from him in there. Declan Rice. Now, I didn't want Declan Rice starting this game. I think Bruno should have and would have started maybe if he was fit. But lo and behold, Declan Rice, similar to Saka, when they're fit, the manager is going to play them. And certainly with Bruno out, you didn't need to give Arteta any other excuse to play Declan Rice from the get-go. I still want him to have more of a rest. He did come off in the match, which was good for Zubimendi came on for him, but I think Declan Rice, I hope he eases his way into the season. I hope he doesn't play 90 minutes week in, week out. I think he'll have to play probably next week too against Villa, at Villa Park. Hopefully he's got a good enough rest between now and then. But yeah, I think today he was steady, Declan Rice. Definitely contributed going forward, I think was good. Yeah, I like what Declan Rice was doing. Steady throughout. I think he is probably best as our number 6. And it'll be interesting to see when Bruno comes back, who's playing the 6, who's playing the 8. I think Declan Rice should probably be playing the 6 and Bruno Guimaraes playing the 8 if those two play together going forward. But yeah, Declan Rice again, similar to Gabriel, you just know what you're going to get from him, and he's just going to be another important player going into the season. Declan Rice, I think him and Gabriel, like other players like Saliba, right? These kind of players will be our spine and are the spine of this team. So no problem about Declan Rice going forward. One of our most important players. So yeah, Declan Rice, well done today. He'll ease his way into the season, and I'm gonna give Declan Rice I'll give Declan Rice a 7 as well. I think that's fair. Miles Lewis Skelly, right off the bat, maybe it's the sentiment and the emotion in me. One of our own. I'm gonna give him an 8 and boost his rating a little bit. Again, I just love the player. Surely he can't go anywhere. Um, like I said, one of our own, amazing midfielder, amazing footballer. I'm glad he's finally playing in his natural position in midfield. Um, he's just so intelligent on the ball. He's just got that ability to get on the half turn and just create for us. a couple good slip balls and behind or on the ground, trying to break the lines, split the eye of the needle, as they say. Tried it for Calafiori in the second half, where the keeper just got there and intercepted. Sorry. But yeah, Mazou Skelly and Mazou Skelly seems to have a good connection with Calafiori down that side. Calafiori makes those runs, and Lewis Skelly will try and find him and be direct more often than not, which is what you like to see, right? We haven't really seen that left A position be fulfilled like that since Xhaka left. And with Lewis Skelly coming to his own, and since the back end of last season, he could be one of ours going forward that is a mainstay in this midfield, which is now the strength of our team, it looks like. And yeah, Miles Lewis Skelly, and they're deserving of his place at the moment. Very, very happy with what he's doing. 8 out of 10, just tidy player. And again, he's one of our own. I keep saying it, and you can tell he enjoys playing for the badge, playing for the Arsenal. You need these kind of players. So Miles Lewis Skelly feels like a fan on the pitch, feels like one of our sons watching him play, young boy. Well done, Lewis Skelly. 8 out of 10 for me. Odegaard, again, one of the part of that trio of Ben White and Saka that I've been referring to. That just made us look so bright and so vibrant going forward and so fluid. Got his goal. Maybe a bit fortunate, but that's now back-to-back goals in 2 weeks in a row. Community Shield, scored against City, and now scored today against Coventry at the Emirates. Yes, Odegaard, like I said, just captain, skipper. Now he's starting to show it, and now he's starting to play like it, and he's going to be a big player for us going forward this season. As I've said before, if we're going to get success this season, Odegaard is going to be very, very important, I believe. Because especially from an attacking output, it's not about the players that you sign, but it's about getting the best out of the current players that once upon a time did show attacking impetus, right? The 23-24 season, 22-23 season, Odegaard, certainly was at the heart of everything that we did going forward in attack. And we haven't seen that recently because of injuries, because of a couple other factors. Hopefully now this season, Odegaard is going to be at the heartbeat again of everything that we do going forward, the fluidity, the attack, the creativity, the invention. So very good from Odegaard today. And start as you mean to go on, Odegaard. There's going to be bigger games and bigger tests to come. But since the World Cup onward, he's looked like a man on a mission again. So yeah, I think he did get man of the match in the game. I'm going to give him, he's probably my man of the match as well, to be fair. So I'm going to give Odegaard I'll give Odegaard an 8.5. Yeah, 8.5. I think he was good. Saka on the right. No, I think again, if Saka is fit and at his best, just one of the best around. One of the best around if he's fully fit and at his best. Um, yeah, one of the best right wingers in this league, and I think this season, a man on a mission as well, along with Odegaard. The two of them were very pivotal, obviously, as I mentioned previously, in 23-24 and 22-23, along with the Ben White combination there as well. So as a trio, right? If I started off the video by talking about the trio, but if we zoom in a little bit, the duo of Odegaard and Saka, again, those two very important players from an attacking standpoint. And talisman like figures in this team. Certainly Saka, when he's at his best, and the number that he puts up is GA, right? We want him to see him get back to some GA this season. Some good GA, right? You're talking about double figures, 20 goals or assists or whatever the case may be, 20 goals and assists combined, right? 20 goals alone in the Prem. Can he aim for that this season? 20 goals all competitions. Like just we know him for having good end product and being reliable in that sense over the years. His numbers have been crazy since he's come into the team as a teenager. So if he can do that again this season and get back to that kind of Saka, again, similar to an Odegaard, we'll be laughing because we'll have one of the best attacking right wingers in the world back in our ranks and playing like it, which will can only be a good thing for us, right? So yeah, I'm very happy with Saka today. I'm going to give him an 8. I thought he was good. I thought, like I said, just the combinations, the directness, and then the goal he gets. So, that fox in the box, knowing where to be, getting goals. I think he's hungry for goals. Saka. I think we saw a couple times in the Community Shield last week. There was times where he, had efforts on goal, maybe where he could have squared it to somebody else. But he looks like a player that wants to be back in the limelight and be back as the main man and getting the goals. So it's good to see. A hungry Saka is only good for Arsenal Football Club. Kai Havertz, I think Kai Havertz was good. Again, I think he's a divided opinion over the years, but I think Kai Havertz, I've come around to understanding what he brings to this team and his best position being in the nine. we play with that sort of nine that links up play, gets others involved, drops deep, fluid, movement. So, and I think Kai Havertz contributes to that certainly. Whether he's going to get 20 goals this season in isolation, as a striker, remains to be seen. But again, I think with the type of system that we deploy, Kai Havertz is certainly good for it. Just like I said, the way we look when we bring others into play. We know Gyökeres's limitations. He can't necessarily do that. He isn't the striker that's gonna, he doesn't necessarily have the IQ, the link up play, the creativity, the invention to combine with other players the same way that Havertz does, right? Gyökeres we know is more of a flat track bully, fox in the box, um, bully ball type of striker. So again, different horses for courses. But again, yeah, these kind of games, right? Havertz, this is where he thrives and he combines well. He likes to, I think, link up on that right hand side as well with Saka, Odegaard, Ben White. We saw it a lot in this game. I did like his performance, Havertz. I'm going to give him an 8. Solis on the left. I think Solis, again, he ran Odegaard close to man of the match. Very, very technical player, two-footed, gotten a pre-assist sort of thing. The first, no, Saka's goal certainly was, was created, you can say, or fashioned by Zolis. Low drive across the box, keeper spills it, Saka finishes it. But yeah, Zolis's ability to go on the inside and on the outside is similar to Trossard, right? Two-footed nature. He gets on the ball, very technical. Doesn't have the most pace, but he's very direct. He likes to go one-on-one. He likes to drive at his fullback, give the fullback something to think about. Look for a pass, look for a shot. I like it. I like what I'm seeing from Zolis. Maybe I still definitely actually think we need to improve on in our attack on that left wing. Perhaps whether we do that this window or not remains to be seen. But yeah, Zolis is I'm very happy with what I'm seeing with him at the moment. He definitely will be a big part and contributor to this team, whether it's as a starter or off the bench. So well done, Zolis. Um, his rating, yeah, 8 for me as well, Zolis. Close to an 8.5, but yeah, 8. Now, just quickly off the bench, Zubimendi first came on for Rice in the 68th minute. Standard 5. I don't think he did too much. The game was already won by then. Madueke, similar. I think he was a little bit bright, Madueke, when he came on. So yeah, but still, I don't, not nothing too crazy. Kept the ball for us. Tried to be a bit direct. I'm gonna give Madueke a standard 5 as well. As a standard 5 came on in the 76th minute. So again, not too much. Came on that left-hand side, which is interesting. But standard 5 for him. I'm going to give Marino a standard 5 as well, and I'm going to give Hincapié a standard 5. That completed our substitutes that came on. But one thing I will say about that bench, right? You just look at the squad depth in there, right? The ability for us to bring off quality players and bring on quality players is something we've asked for years now, right? And like I said, the 5 that came on, Madueke as a England international, Zubimendi, Spanish international, World Cup winner and Euros winner, Marino the same, Hincapié, right? Won trebles and won trophies at Leverkusen. Ecuadorian international, big time player, highly rated defender, comes on for a Calafiori. Um, who's again a top left backer right now, Calafiori in his own right. So it's just amazing squad depth. We have um Gyökeres on the bench who didn't even come on, which is quite interesting. Now I wonder what that says about him and his future. And obviously missing out of the match day squad altogether is that Martinelli and Jesus. Now that is very telling. Arteta, like I said before in previous videos or short clips that I did, I think is trying to send a message there, Arteta, that Martinelli and Jesus, you're surplus to requirements. So I think that we're obviously trying to move those on, and it's kind of a sign to them to tell them, hey, you guys need to be looking for new clubs because you're not part of the plans. And I think that's right. I think rightfully so. I think it's time to move on from both of those. So, thank you for your services, but if we want to improve and we want to go to the highest level as a football club, there's no room for sentiment really. And it's all about being ruthless in any business, right? You need to get results and you need to have achieve success if it means moving people on, that's what you got to do. And both of those have been given more than enough time and patience. So, yeah, interesting. But we'll more on that to come. We'll talk about that in future videos, I'm sure. Arteta's rating 9 out of 10. You'd have to say got everything spot on. Players came off when they needed to come off. Kept a clean sheet. The football looked good. 9 out of 10 for Arteta. So it was encouraging. Start as you mean to go on. Bigger tests to come. But yeah, listen, people, that's pretty much all we have to discuss today. I mean, I can go on and on and on about it, but we're just happy with it with the 3 points, and we're happy with the performances. Most notably, the trio of Saka, Ben White, and Odegaard, as I mentioned. Scary prospect if the three of them get back to their best in combination. The chemistry, the build-up, the fluidity. It's just great to see. So more of that. Hopefully, they all stay fit. and we go again because they will be important to our success this season. Ladies and gentlemen, like and subscribe, as I always say, if you haven't done so already. Tell a friend to tell a friend, hit the notification bell so that you know when we are dropping videos, and that you never miss a show or you never miss, our clips and so on and so forth. More to come, people. The season is back underway, and keep it locked here with us at the home of the Premier League champions, of course. Lock in because it's going to be a roller coaster of a ride. More success to come this season. Up the Arsenal. I've been CJ from the Gunners Corner. Take care, people. Bye bye.